The internet loves rise and fall stories, but every once in a while, one appears that feels less like entertainment and more like a slow-motion implosion happening in real time. What you're about to hear isn't built on rumors or vague drama. It's a timeline of accusations, receipts, reactions, and consequences that may permanently alter one of the biggest careers Twitch has ever seen. Once you reach the end of this story, it becomes difficult to believe that anything could ever go back to the way it was before. Right now, one of Twitch's most recognizable personalities is facing what many are calling one of the most destructive downfalls in the platform's history. As more details surface, the situation grows darker, more complicated, and far more uncomfortable to watch. From allegations of control and manipulation to claims of violence, threats, and psychological abuse, this controversy has pulled back the curtain on a relationship that, from the outside, once seemed harmless, maybe even wholesome. Instead, what's being described is years of instability, fear, and silence. I create weekly YouTube documentaries analyzing online controversies, power, and accountability. Today, we're breaking down the allegations brought forward by popular streamer Amaranth, commonly known as Emmy, against Mizkif, the evidence that followed, the internet's reaction, and Mizkif's own response that may have done more damage than good. This situation is still developing, and new information continues to surface, but what's already public paints a picture that's impossible to ignore. To understand why this story matters, you need to understand who these people are. Mizkif and Emmy are not small creators. They're among the most recognizable faces on Twitch. Emmy regularly averaged close to 20,000 viewers at her peak, while Mizkif consistently pulled in well over 10,000 viewers per stream. They lived in the same house, shared social circles, collaborated frequently, and were both members of OTK, one of Twitch's most powerful content organizations. For years, fans suspected the two were romantically involved. They appeared together often, joked on stream, and had a chemistry that viewers found charming. While neither publicly confirmed the relationship at first, it was treated as an open secret. From the outside, it looked like a successful partnership, two creators growing together in the same environment. That illusion shattered on October 25th, 2025. Emmy went live with a stream titled something intentionally vague, talking about some things. Viewers assumed she was going to address a recent incident at TwitchCon, where a deranged fan had rushed to stage and attacked her in front of a live audience. Instead, Emmy opened her stream with something entirely different, something far more personal and far more serious. She announced that she was finally going to speak about years of psychological abuse, domestic intimidation, stalking, sexual misconduct, and threats of blackmail allegedly committed by Mizkif. She confirmed publicly for the first time that they had been in a relationship starting in January of 2022. But more importantly, she explained why she was choosing to speak now. According to Emmy, she had long promised herself that if she ever believed someone else was at risk of being harmed, she would break her silence. Just weeks before the stream, she said she had been informed by multiple people, including someone present, that Mizkif had engaged in similar behavior with another individual. That was the moment she decided she could no longer stay quiet. There was another reason too. Emmy alleged that after their relationship ended, Mizkif repeatedly threatened to destroy her reputation if she ever spoke publicly. She claimed he approached other creators, attempting to convince them to turn against her. When that failed, she says he escalated. At TwitchCon, Emmy alleged that Mizkif approached one of her employees and threatened them directly, saying that if she ever talked, he would destroy her. That threat, she said, was the final straw. From there, Emmy began detailing what she described as a deeply controlling relationship. She said Mizkif tried to dictate what she wore, who she spoke to, when she streamed, and where she went. She described an environment where her independence slowly eroded, framed as concern or protection, but experienced as restriction. Then came the allegations that changed everything. Emmy claimed that over time, Mizkif's behavior escalated into physical intimidation. She described him throwing objects, plastic bottles, his phone, near or at her. She said one incident resulted in a black eye. According to her, each time she expressed fear or discomfort, the behavior was brushed off as accidental. Looking back, she believes it was boundary testing. At the time, Emmy did not document everything. She didn't expect to one day have to publicly defend her experiences. That lack of immediate evidence initially gave Mizkif an opening to deny the allegations entirely, until the internet started digging. Viewers uncovered an old screenshot from one of Emmy's streams in mid-2023, taken while she was switching applications. In the image, what appeared to be a black eye was visible. Around the same time, messages surfaced showing Emmy telling friends that she had recently had a black eye that was finally healing. While it's impossible to definitively prove the cause, the timeline aligned with her account. More evidence followed. Clips resurfaced showing Mizkif throwing objects during arguments with a previous girlfriend. While context matters, the behavior mirrored what Emmy described closely enough that many viewers felt the pattern was undeniable. As the story spread, public opinion began to shift rapidly. Things escalated further when Emmy connected her experience to an older controversy involving Mizkif and a former roommate accused of sexual assault. Although an internal investigation cleared Mizkif of direct involvement, the internet response was deeply skeptical. Many believed the situation contributed to an increasingly volatile environment inside the house, and Amy said it directly worsened Mizkif's behavior toward her. She described incidents where he became enraged over viewership numbers, particularly during events where she outperformed him. In one example, during a Rust event, Amy said Mizkif messaged her threatening self-harm because she had more viewers. Clips later surfaced appearing to support parts of her account, including moments where loud door slams disrupted her stream. Amy claimed that Mizkif regularly destroyed furniture, punched holes in walls, and screamed at her. She said she sometimes locked herself in rooms to feel safe. She described being blamed for his insecurities and emotional instability. One of the most disturbing allegations involved reckless driving. Amy said Mizkif once drove at extreme speeds while talking about ending his life, all because he was upset about not being included in a collaboration. A separate clip from a former partner later resurfaced, describing nearly identical behavior, which intensified public concern. Eventually, Amy left the house and ended the relationship, but according to her, the behavior didn't stop. She showed messages revealing dozens of attempts by Mizkif to contact her after the breakup. She said she felt unsafe, overwhelmed, and eventually began the process of filing for a restraining order. The most serious allegation came from a meeting that happened after the breakup. Amy said Mizkif asked to come over for closure. During an emotional moment where she was crying, she said he became physically aggressive and sexually inappropriate, without consent. When she screamed, she said he stopped, but immediately left without apologizing or checking on her. By the time Amy ended her stream, public sentiment had shifted dramatically against Mizkif. Many expected him to disappear from the internet. Instead, just hours later, he went live. His response shocked people. Rather than opening with remorse or reflection, Mizkif began by declaring what he called demon time, threatening to expose other creators. Many interpreted this as an attempt to intimidate anyone considering speaking out. He denied intentionally throwing objects at Emmy, framing incidents as accidents. He admitted to frequent arguments, but blamed stress, mental health struggles, and later, substance use. He accused Emmy of neglecting her pets, an allegation she had predicted he would make. Friends and fellow creators quickly came to her defense, providing detailed explanations that contradicted his claims. Mizkif admitted to being controlling but said it was for safety reasons. He described the relationship as mutually toxic, comparing Emmy throwing plushies to his own violent outbursts, including punching walls. As the response continued, his explanation shifted. After the stream ended, he told viewers he had been abusing drugs, including steroids and psychedelics, claiming they fueled his aggression. Critics questioned why this information wasn't disclosed earlier and whether it was another attempt to deflect responsibility. More clips resurfaced. More former interactions were re-examined. Patterns people once dismissed as jokes now felt unsettling. OTK cut ties with Mizkif. Legal action was reportedly filed. Experts weighed in, many suggesting the lawsuit could further damage his reputation rather than restore it. At this point, the outcome remains uncertain. Courtrooms don't operate on internet opinion, and allegations still require legal proof. But reputational damage doesn't wait for verdicts. What's clear is this: regardless of how this ends legally, the way this situation was handled publicly has already changed how millions of people see Mizkif. And for Amy, speaking out may have come at a massive personal cost, but also sparked a conversation that many believe was long overdue. The internet moves fast. Careers rise and fall even faster. But sometimes, the most important stories aren't about cancellation. They're about accountability, power, and what happens when silence finally breaks. If you want to stay updated as this situation continues to unfold, make sure you're subscribed, because this story isn't over yet.